Hello, aviation enthusiasts. Welcome back to Aeroonline, your hub for the latest aviation stories. This week, we're taking off with updates on new routes, cutting-edge technology, and dramatic in-flight incidents. Let's
Navy
dive in.
Growlers collide at Airshow. Two U.S. Navy Boeing EA-18G Growler aircraft collided during an air show in Idaho on May 17th, with all four crew members ejecting safely and reported in stable condition. Croatia A220 skids off runway. Croatia Airlines had an Airbus A220-300 leave the runway at Split Airport after a rejected takeoff to Frankfurt. All 135 people on board were reported safe. American 777 returns after engine failure. American Airlines returned a Boeing 777-200ER to Phoenix after an engine failure shortly after departure for London Heathrow. The aircraft landed safely with 283 people on board. Ryanair posts record profit. Ryanair reported a record annual profit of about $2.63 billion, supported by strong passenger demand, fuel hedging, and continued traffic growth across Europe. TSA tests off-site screening. Transportation Security Administration will test remote passenger screening for selected Delta Airlines and JetBlue travelers flying through Boston Logan Airport. Delta A350 diverts to Seattle. Delta Airlines diverted an Airbus A350-900 from Los Angeles to Seattle after a passenger reportedly became disruptive during the flight to Shanghai. Delta A330 diverts to Paris. Delta Airlines diverted an Airbus A330-300 from New York JFK to Paris after a reported engine issue during the flight to Milan. Airlines fill Spirit routes. JetBlue, Frontier Airlines, Allegiant Air, and Breeze Airways are expanding service on routes previously operated by Spirit Airlines after the carrier ceased operations. India monitors 787 fuel switch test. Indian aviation officials will observe testing at Boeing on a Boeing 787 fuel switch panel removed from an Air India Dreamliner after a reported cockpit switch issue. LaGuardia runway closed after sinkhole discovery. A sinkhole near a runway forced the temporary closure of runway 4/22 at LaGuardia Airport, causing major delays and cancellations across the airport. Airbus expands a 330M RTT conversion capacity in Seville. Airbus will open a new A330M RTT conversion center in Seville, Spain, increasing annual tanker aircraft conversion capacity from 5 to 7 aircraft by 2027. Air France Paris to Detroit flight diverts to Montreal. Air France diverted a Paris to Detroit flight to Montreal after U.S. authorities denied entry to a passenger under Ebola-related travel restrictions. Airbus warns of a 350 delays. Airbus warned some customers of possible future A350 delivery delays due to ongoing supply chain and production issues affecting key fuselage components. Eve advances eVTOL testing. Eve Air Mobility completed hover and low-speed testing of its full-scale eVTOL prototype, moving closer to transition flight testing later in 2026. United 737 clips ANA 777F. A United Airlines Boeing 737-900ER lightly struck the tail of an ANA cargo Boeing 777F while taxiing at Chicago O'Hare, causing minor damage to both aircraft. Xiamen 737 engine issue. A Xiamen Airlines Boeing 737-800 returned safely to Fuzhou shortly after departure to Seoul after the crew reported abnormal engine vibrations during climb. United 737 MAX diverts after passenger incident. A United Airlines 737 MAX diverted to Washington Dulles after a disruptive passenger incident on a flight from Newark to Guatemala City. RIAT 2026 canceled. Royal International Air Tattoo 2026 has been canceled after uncertainty over access to RAF Fairford linked to ongoing Middle East military operations.
That wraps up this week on Aeroonline. What stories stood out the most to you? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more aviation updates. Until next time, clear skies and safe travels. That wraps up this week on Aero.